Welcome back to the Citizen Channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And one of our regular features, Match Day Programme Watch, the away version. We do a home version, we do the away version. I have an interloper today. We have one of those special ones that we wouldn't normally feature because it's a team from outside the Premier League, but we play in something called the FA Cup. So we do get these from time to time. We play in the League Cup and the Champions League. I don't tend to get many Champions League ones, guys. Whether they produce or I've bought them in the past, but sometimes they just sort of mass produce stuff that isn't very good. So I tend to stay clear unless it's a Champions League final, of course, or something like that. Hopefully, it might be one of those this year. Who knows? Right, so yes, we're going to have a look at this. Peter, weighted home. I thought it was at Wembley when I went into the shop at Peterborough to buy this. I thought, oh, it looks like a Wembley programme. Absolutely brilliant. Well, all credit to him for putting out something like this. A superb cover, that. Brilliant. One of the best covers. I think Swindon was very, very good. I remember that, but obviously it wasn't as A4 size like this one. So we're going to have a look at that today. Please, if you are new to the channel, please push that subscribe button. Push the bell notification for everything City, past, present, and forever, of course. And if you can give us a little thumbs up as you're watching this, much appreciated. Make an old man very happy. So we're going to have a look through this today. Interesting, yeah. Is it as good inside? I had a quick flick through. A lot of adverts, guys, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Peterborough United, 1st of March 2022. At the Western Homes Stadium. That's it. I nearly forgot then. Western Homes Stadium has been called other things. I think it's had other sponsors. When I was looking on, when we were travelling down, I was looking on Google Maps. I think it's come up with something as ABEX, ABEX Stadium or something like that. So I must have had different sponsors over time. Yeah, Watford still lead the pack, lead the table. Newcastle are currently in second. So can this do any damage? Well, it certainly has potential. Just looking at the outside of it, that's for sure. 84 pages, which is standard, but 84 A4 pages this time, so even better. Price. First downer we get £5, which again for the size of it, I suppose is reasonable for the printing costs, etc. But also another negative, and we can't blame Peterborough one iota for this. Of the 84 pages, there are literally about 43 pages, so just over half, for promotions and advertising. So obviously, make hay while you can. Absolutely not. I have nothing against that at all. Obviously, it does sort of slightly dampen it as something to read through, but hey, these clubs have got to make the money, and well done to them, and I appreciate the fact they have to do it, and congratulations, and hopefully they do make some money out of it. It's very hard to make money out of programmes at the best of times, but you can get a lot of those advertisers on board and sell a lot as well. You've got a chance of making a few quid anyway. Okay, still bigger, but they've got 41 A4 pages in theory to look at of content, so that's probably equivalent to 60 or 70 of the smaller size programs anyway. So what do we have? I mean, obviously we don't start with the manager, we start with the CEO, David Payton, with the intro. So he's actually talking about the commercial side, and of course, as you'd expect, talking about the visit of City and how important and how great, hopefully, it will be. And then straight into the City pages. Yeah, so we get the City stuff. We get an intro on a player comparison. Quite good, actually. Nathan Thompson against and Ruben Diaz. Perhaps we weren't to know Mr. Diaz was going to pick up an injury, did we? But why was he playing? Who knows? That's a question for another vlog, not this one. And he stacked up pretty well, actually. Obviously, the different levels. So Nathan Thomas, Ruben Diaz. Not much between them, obviously. Some nice pen pictures, some okay detail on it, and obviously a piece on Pep Guardiola, obviously, as the centre of most football fans' attention away from us. We're used to him now, aren't we, at City? Played for both, includes the people, about 7 or 8 players, including David Seaman and Tony Adcock. There's a piece on the young lad, Ricky J. Jones, who's been there a long time and just broke through now into the first team. Club photographer shares his favourite images from the season, he says, but he has snuck a couple of older ones in there as well from previous seasons. But he did say they were from this season, but they're not all. There's a couple from other photographs of importance to Peterborough United. And the club statistician, Mr. Robinson looks back at. I've got Ick here, ICK. It might be Rick, might be Nick. I don't know. I can't read. I've typed it out and misspelt it. So Mr. Robinson, we'll call him. We'll call him by his formal name. Looks back at all Peterborough's fifth round games, looking at with cover of the program covers and match summary. A very very nice site, and the first bit of real good history stuff in it, and it's very very well done, as I said, because obviously they haven't been to the fifth round lots and lots of times, so they could cover it in 2 or 3 pages. So that's quite interesting. There's a small junior posh quiz with just to spot the difference and a word search and something else. Not fantastic. It's okay. An article on a fairly new, higher profile women's team. Yeah, they're not in the women's Premier League, but they are promoting the women's team. So a nice little piece on them. And probably one of the best features, and one I liked, on the City game back, of course, in 1981, which was that as well, with stuff from ex-players and the then manager of Peterborough, with like a question and answer format, which I always like anyway. I think it's less. It's less, it's quite a lot of words, and it's less intimidating when you got a Q&A thing, I think, when you're reading an article. So, and there's good 3 or 4 pages, or big pages, a lot of information. And that's probably the highlight of the match day program for me. The stuff on the 1981 game, which was the only other time we met, of course, so they can make a big thing out of it. Derek Smith, he's a fan of Peterborough, and he's from the USA, and he talks about him supporting and how he came to support Peterborough. Very unusual, actually. He was actually working in London and just wanted to watch a football game, as they do. This is why a lot of the London teams get a lot of tourists going, people who are just in London and want to pick up a Premier League game. But he actually picked up, wasn't much about when he was there, and he actually picked up a Chelsea under-23s game at Stamford Bridge, and yes, in the Checkatrade Trophy, and yes, they were playing Peterborough, and he just had an affinity with Peterborough ever since. So I think that's a great little story. It's nice to say that the gentleman called Derek Smith, how he became a Peterborough fan. It's a little bit unusual, quirky. I like that. FA Cup journey. Yeah, this is about there's a family, isn't there? A grandfather, a father, and a son travelled. I think they started with the extra preliminary round on the 7th of August, but their aim is to watch all the games. And what they do is obviously follow one team, and then when they get beat, they follow the next team. So obviously, by the time we played, they got Swindon. So obviously, with City drawing Swindon, they end up watching City Swindon, and of course, they had to watch City then. So they've got a good chance, hopefully, fingers crossed, of getting all the way to the final. But so the piece on them, and they watched City Fulham, and of course they were at the Peterborough ground to watch Peterborough against City. So as I said, hopefully they'll get all the way to Wembley. That's just a nice little thing. I have seen it mentioned in other places, other newspapers or other media. And the final article is just on the academy, Peterborough Academy. So conclusions, really, well, we don't have much history, so we get it all here, don't we? Which is fair enough. We only played one game. There's not a lot of City versus Peterborough stuff they can put in, and obviously they had played for both, stuff like that, which was fine. And on City, it was some nice pen pictures of the players, not just 3 or 4 lines, probably 15, 20 lines on each player, which is nice, and the larger piece on Pep. Everything else, yeah, there was a couple of great articles. Of course, there was an 81 game, which was looked at not just from a fan's point of view, but you had a match report, and you had the ex-players and the manager commenting and their views of it as well, which was good. I like that. And also, we had, what was the other thing we had? Yeah, the fifth round match, of course, all the fifth round matches that Peter played in, plus program covers as well for each one, which was obviously interests me, as you probably no doubt know, doing these program watches. So that was good. But as with the Swindon program, perhaps early in the season, which obviously didn't score very highly, it's more a memento. It's more even though the 2 or 3 articles were wordy, and I did probably took me 15, 20 minutes to get through them, which is as long as it takes me to get through some of the smaller magazines we've looked at this season. It is just a way of making a few quid for the club and being a memento for people, like a half and half scarf. So hopefully plenty of people bought it but what it does make up for in that side of it, obviously it loses perhaps in a football content, but I'm sure from a Peterborough point of view and from a Peterborough fans' point of view, I think it will be an excellent publication. But I'm not basing it on them, am I? I'm basing it on my judgment as whether I like the programme. And because basically the price £5, because basically there are a lot of adverts, all credit to them. I've no grudge against them for doing that. I have to put this pretty low down. In fact, I'm going to put it to the bottom of the programme. I'm going to be mean and put Peterborough, they are bottom of the championship at the moment. I'm going to put their programme bottom of the programme, match day programme, away watch as well. I'm going to give it the minimum score of 6 out of 10, as I said, and I fully congratulate them on the basis of actually trying to make as much as they can for their club, which is absolutely spot on. That's what they should do. But unfortunately, the programme, although it looks pretty and it's big, isn't quite as good as first appears. But yeah, I like it. I still like it. I'm not any programme, doesn't matter. Even if there's only a couple of pages on football, it was all adverts. It's still a memento, isn't it? Nice squad size. See the squad size as well. Yeah, Klopp can't compete with our squad, can he? But obviously Peterborough, well, I think what they've done there is put all the youngsters on as well. That's fantastic. I mean, that's another brilliant idea. It's just something that you wouldn't really think of that much, but it's important to the Peterborough guys, isn't it? Imagine you as a young player, obviously being on the team list with one of the best teams in the world, which City are at the moment. That's quite clever, and I like that. But not enough to give it more than 6 out of 10. And I'm sorry, Peterborough will actually hold up the division, so they're rock bottom at the moment. My apologies, Peterborough, but good luck for you going forward, and hope you survive. Hope you get out of the relegation battle you're in as well. So Watford are untouched, still at number 1. And the next one, let me have a think. I'm not too sure what the next one will be after this. It should be, if we can get one. I can't get to the game, unfortunately. Is it Burnley? Burnley away, the next one we do, if we can get a copy of that one. I think that's the next away game. But they are fluid, these, depending if we can get hold of it. If I'm going to the game, we can get a copy of it. Oh, Palace, that's it. And I'm going to Palace, so hopefully I'll be able to. That's it, Crystal Palace. My apologies. Crystal Palace away is the next one. And I will be going down to that. So I should be able to get hold of a programme. Join me for that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in your comments if you had a look through what you thought. As I say, a really good couple of articles of 1981 and that 5th round thing, but generally not really as much interest to me apart from that, in all fairness. Thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other. So we meet here again on the Citizen channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.